Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ritu podcast show. I'm thrilled to have a very special guest joining us today, Dr. Corinne Gehagen. She's a board certified doctor of podiatric medicine with over 20 years of experience, and she has simultaneously cultivated a new career as a micropigmentation specialist for application of permanent makeup. But above all, she is an extraordinary human being and a very, very dear friend. So, thank you so much, Corinne, for coming to my show today. And today she's going to share with us about her life, her career journey, her friends, maybe, and of course, books. So, over to you, Corinne. Welcome to my show.
Hello, Ritu. Thank you so much for the opportunity to chat with you. And when you say extraordinary, you always bring out the extraordinary in individuals. So you always bring that forth and help others bloom who are around you. So can't wait to chat.
Thank you, Corinne. Thank you. So let's just get right into our podcast today. And, we have lots to talk about. So, Corinne, tell me, you've been a doctor for 20 years. Tell me a little bit about that journey and what is it that you appreciated the most about being a doctor?
Well, journey is a long journey, and it started back when I was in high school. I wanted to be in the healthcare industry. And, when I was at NYU, I wound up obtaining a job during the summer in between my sophomore and junior year at NYU while I was in undergraduate education. And it was with two podiatrists. And I hadn't had any experience with podiatry, with the field of podiatry. I didn't know anything about it, but they hired me. And so I was with them for almost 2 years. And that experience is what drove me to select podiatry as a career.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mostly enjoy about it is, working with individuals. It's just that one on one interaction, and hopefully the outcome is one that's positive and that can actually, you know, help the individual. So
Yeah.
that's probably, my most favorite aspect about it. I've cultivated many relationships over the years with multiple patients. They're some of them are practically family.
Yeah.
So I really, really value that.
Wow. Yeah, and I had the opportunity to actually work with you during those times. And I can totally agree to everything that you just said, that your personality, your demeanor with your patients, I think that was the highlight of your practice. I mean, you are a very skilled doctor yourself and did several procedures in operation theaters and also in office. But I think the people skills have, I think, tops everything. And you really, and I have seen the patients with you and how much they have loved you. And so I was fortunate to witness that while you were building up the practice. So yeah,
And
great.
you were my first employee, and you really did help me build the practice, Ritu.
No,
And
I cherish those
I
times so
so much
much.
appreciate that.
No, I have loved working with you, and I love this relationship that's been going for so many years, and I hope to, keep it going for a long time. So
Yeah, it's been
thank
16
you.
years already.
Yes. So, Corinne, tell me, what are you doing now? Are you, I
So,
know that you have started a new journey into permanent makeup, but how did that get started, and where are you with that now?
well, a few years ago, I started to feel deep inside of me that I wanted a transition. I loved, like I said, working with the patients, but what I did not love was having to deal with some of the, frankly, abuses of the insurance companies. And it's almost exploitation at some points. So, I had my own eyebrows done. I had permanent makeup application for my own eyebrows. And I realized that that career did have some parallels to what I was already doing. You know, it was still the one-on-one interaction with an individual. It involves procedures and using my hands, which is what I've been used to doing daily for over 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, there is actually biology, chemistry, physics, anatomy, physiology involved in the permanent makeup industry. But it
Mm-hmm.
also provides the opportunity to be creative and artistic. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at right now, and
That's
I'm
pretty
very
amazing.
happy. It may seem wild to some people to go from what I was doing to this pathway, but I'm really enjoying it.
No, but Corinne, I can totally resonate with the parallels that you just spoke about, how these two things can, can be similar. And as a person, if I am thinking about getting a permanent makeup, I would definitely go to a doctor rather than a person who is not one, right? Because you have learned all your life about, anatomy and physiology and everything else. So I would be more confident to come to a doctor to touch my face and, do things which going to be permanent. So yeah, that's amazing, Corinne, and I congratulate you that you were courageous to follow your passion or the dream of being creative and getting into this field, which I know was very new to you, but you took the plunge. And I know a lot of people out there who are listening to us are going to relate to this because we all are at some point of time, in our journey at points where we have to make choices, and not everybody is able to do that. So I hope people will get inspired and motivated by your journey, and they are able to do that as well. So thank you.
Yes, I will say that, you know, you always wonder what your family is going to say, or maybe your spouse or your children, your friends. But I have to say that not one individual in my life discouraged me. Everyone was positive and excited, intrigued. So I think that that really helped me. You know, it was a great foundation to know that I had that support.
Yes, that support is really that so important. But having known you, Corinne, for so many years, I can say that, that confidence and courage has comes from within, and it has to be cultivated and built upon for years, up to the point that you've come here and made that decision. So uh tell me how you do that, Corinne. Like how did you grow up in your life, and is what is it what's your you know life mantra, like you go by, just for my viewers to know more about that.
I think I don't know, I feel like I've always been a bit of a risk taker. Not to say that that means you know, an individual has to be reckless if they're a risk taker,
Hmm.
but I think the idea is, you know, it's okay to have that degree of uncertainty. And you have to sometimes get comfortable with a little bit of uncertainty in your life. And you also sometimes have to just enjoy the journey and not so much worry about the outcome. The
Mm-hmm.
outcome is important, but I feel like, you know, again, the journey and, you know, the unpredictability, you know, it's not for everyone, but for me, I'm okay with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like you can have ideas and there's always potential, but sometimes you just have to just take the action. You have to really, you know, I was feeling for several years just something deep inside of me swelling and just nudging me from within, and I had to listen to the calling that was within my soul. So again, it does involve some risk, but yeah, I that's the kind of person I am.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Corinne. Thanks a lot. And tell me more about Corinne. What do you do in your free time? Like when you're not working, what are the things that gives you joy? What are the kind of things that you're interested in?
Well, those who know me know that I love to run. I run probably 5 to 6 days a week. I do this in the mornings. It's the way that I start my day. I gather my thoughts, and I always run outdoors, regardless of the weather or the temperature. It's just something that I do no matter what, no excuses. But I really enjoy it because I do run outdoors. I'm in nature and, seeing the seasons change, just being outdoors, breathing in the fresh air. That's really one of my favorite things. And of course, I love to ski and I love to spend time with my children, my husband, and I enjoy reading. I'm always, always reading. I'm always learning something, while I'm running, while I'm driving, while I'm getting ready in the morning. I've always got something on in the background where I can, learn and absorb as much
That's
knowledge as
great. That's
possible.
that that's Corinne. That's a perfect segue into my next question, which is, as you know, that this podcast of mine began with exploring books and talking to people about the books they've read their lives, and how they've impacted their lives, and not just impacted their lives, just the joy of reading and what they enjoy about it. So tell me, are there any books that you have read recently that have stayed with you or spoken to you that you want to share with us?
Well, one that I've read recently is Hunting Discomfort by an individual. The author is Sterling Hawkins. So, hunting discomfort is, again, the act of moving ahead by being willing to do something you're not used to, doing something that may feel uncomfortable, and, taking adversity or struggles and turning that into success. So, there is a quote that I always appreciate, and it is, do something every day that makes you uncomfortable. And that could be, something physical. It could be, speaking in public. It could be anything, but to do, it could be small. But that I think really helps to build confidence
Mm,
and, push you forward. So that book is one that I've read within the past year. And I
mm-hmm,
still reference it from time to time. And one of my favorite books from childhood is
mm-hmm.
called, let me see, The Little Red Lighthouse and the
Okay.
Great Gray Bridge. It's a
Hmm.
very old book, but
Okay.
if you ever happen to cross the George Washington Bridge
Uh-huh.
as you're going toward New York City, you will see a
Mm.
tiny little red lighthouse underneath the George Washington Bridge.
I see.
Yep. And so what the book is about is that the Little Red Lighthouse had all the um, attention for so many years, guiding boats, and it had an important job.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Mm-hmm.
George Washington Bridge was constructed right above it,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt that its job wasn't so important anymore, and that all of the attention was going toward the bridge
Mm.
and how amazing the bridge was.
Mm.
So, again, it's, not about comparing yourself to somebody else.
Mm.
Who you are, you have value. And if you compare yourself to others and what you perceive as the greatness of others relative to yourself,
Mm.
it really, I don't feel that that is constructive. You can have a mentor,
Yeah.
but if you, constantly fall into that vortex of comparing yourself to others, it can be a strain on your productivity and on your spirit. So that is a childhood book that I love.
Oh my God, that's amazing, Corinne. I'm going to definitely check that, both books that you just mentioned, and I'm sure my viewers would do that as well. So, Corinne, again, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I hope you enjoyed
Mhm.
yourself as well. And before we close, do you want to say just closing remarks for my viewers if you want to?
Um, I would just say that, if you really feel something deeply inside of you, explore it at minimum. At least explore the feelings. And, there's always pressure from, again, family and friends about how they're going to perceive your thoughts or your ideas. But it's really your life,
Mm-hmm.
and just again, it's an old saying, but go with your gut and at least be willing to explore rather than suppress any ideas that may be within inside of you.
That's great. That's terrific, Corinne. Great. With that, Corinne, I will take your leave. Thank you again very much, and I hope to bring you back on my show again with more interesting chats.
Sure.
Till then, have a great night and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ritu.